Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and that is Crash, who is now going to go over to his area. And this is my review for him. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way. Share him to leave a like. Comment below, let me know your thoughts on him. And, of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, when I say him, I mean the horror football movie him, not my dog Crash. But if we are to give him a review, he's a really good boy who has an attitude problem every once in a while. You know, typical Chihuahua stuff. But yeah, him, the first horror football movie, first horror sports movie that I can ever think of. I think this is some true groundbreaking stuff that we can do here within this type of genre, because you know I love football and I love horror movies. Y'all know that. I think out of all the genres, horror is probably my number one. And you know, out of all the sports, for me to watch, football is my favorite to watch. Love college football, love NFL football. Honestly, if we were to add a third element to this channel, it would be, you know, movies and television will be 1, wrestling is 2, and then football would have been 3. But, you know, I still need to be able to become more consistent with the wrestling and movies. So we TBD on that. But yeah, I was really looking forward to this. I feel like this movie was really tailor-made for me in a lot of ways because, like I said, horror, football. Starting Marlon Wayans, to me, who is one of my favorite performers watching. Really grew up watching him in a lot because you know I watched his show with his brother, the Wayans brothers. I watched Living Color a little bit. You know, that show brought over a whole lot of talent such as Jim Carrey. Love Jim Carrey movies. The Scary Movie movies, I love those as well. White Chicks. I mean, I can go on and on and on when it comes to Marlon Wayans. Growing up, just watching him, he's one of my favorites ever to perform. So if he's going to be in a project, I'm there. It's basically what I am trying to say. Jordan Peele, not directing this, but producing this film. So that also caught my attention. So yeah, just a lot of things going for it where I'm just like, ooh, this is going to be one of my top 10 easily, maybe contending for the gold. And overall, I must say, I didn't hate this film. I didn't. And in fact, I think overall I liked it. And I don't know if this is the case that maybe the expectations were a little too high going into it. But I think overall, I wanted this to be a great film. And overall, it's maybe just a fine film. Because there are a lot of things to like about it. One, Marlon Wayans. Full bias aside, I think this is truly one of his best performances that he's ever done. I mean, it's a very different character, but yet he has those Marlon isms in there as well within the character, where you know he's being this super hard and brash mentor type, but yet does these little silly things like you've seen in the trailer when he boops him on the nose that just really, you know, you like scared of him, but yet you laugh with him in a lot of ways. I think the acting overall is done very well in this film as well. The man who plays the lead character, the one who is trying to take the mantle on of being the next GOAT, he does a great job with it. His name has escaped me, but he performs very well. I think he is going to be an upcoming actor that we do talk about in future projects that can be, you know, contending for an Oscar. In a lot of ways. I think the direction is done very well. I think the cinematography is very good in this movie too. A lot of pretty visuals to look at throughout the whole entire film. It's just a lot within the writing. I don't know if this movie had necessarily too many ideas within it, or that they were more focused on making the movie look pretty and look creepy as opposed to really having something to say within it. Now, I am all for a movie being completely, you know, up into the interpretator and all of that fine jazz. I don't need all the answers answered in the film. I like things that are left to open to interpretation. But I am truly struggling to figure out what were we trying to accomplish within this film. Because a lot of things that are presented are just really feel like afterthoughts in a lot of ways. And I just feel like there was other ways to go about this story with whatever they were trying to tell that we could execute a little bit better. And I think number one, they just needed to stick to one story to really be the main crux. Now, a big theme of this is like, what are you willing to sacrifice to be the GOAT? Are you willing to get rid of anything, get rid of everything that you want, and to fully just embrace within the craft of the sport of the job that you are trying to perform to be really truly considered one of the GOATs. Because, there's this whole thing of, okay, you know what they say, it's God, family, then football. To me, it's football, God, then family. Or it was football, family, then God. Like, it's kind of a flip on that. So there was that element to it too, but I don't feel like we fully dug into that, because within how both characters are presented and how you see them, I don't see where the sacrifice came in when it came to that, when it comes to, blood, sweat, and tears. Sure, there's an injury angle in this movie within our main character. He suffers a head injury within it. Again, to me, kind of comes into an afterthought after a while. Like, you get these cool little x-ray visuals to show how it's affecting him, but yet at the same time, I don't see how it's affecting him in one way. So I don't really see what the sacrifice was within that. And I could go on and on about multiple things when it comes to it, because there's that element, there's that message that they're trying to convey. What are you willing to sacrifice? This movie also feels like it's trying to be a cautionary tale of meeting your heroes, because growing up, our main character worshiped Marlon Wayans' character, and wanted to really be him. And like in the opening, it's him as a kid watching him be like, I'm gonna be him, I'm him. And like, that's the standard that you have to live for and everything like that. Then he meets him and, obviously creepy stuff happens, because, this is a horror thriller in a lot of ways. And in a way, we do tackle that. But I feel like we didn't fully tackle it to our potential. And I honestly kind of wish that was just the main story going into it, was this cautionary tale of meeting your heroes and training with your heroes. In a lot of ways, this was a biblical type of movie as well. This takes place throughout the whole entire week. And like I say, they talk about, God, family, and football, which is, a really prevalent thing when it comes to football, especially here in the South and Texas. It's the top two things. Actually, all three of the things are the top three things when it comes to Texans. It is God, family, and football. So, you have that religious outlet to it too. And the term the GOAT, GOAT is obviously used in some religious aspects. He has a form with Satan and all of that jazz within it. They take a supernatural element to this too, almost cult-like in a lot of ways. Like I said, this movie had a lot of ideas that you can implement into a sports horror movie. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't know if because again, from what I believe, this is the first one. It was just a lot to take on within this. And I think if you just stripped down and you picked one of them, like I said, the one that captivated to me the most was the mentor element of it. If we would just focus on that, boy, I think this movie would have been singing for a good while. And I think we would have been talking about this when it came to Oscar season. But even if they didn't want to focus on that, if they wanted to focus on this supernatural cult-like thing, I think there was a lot of fun that we could have with that too. That could have been a really fun movie. The sacrifice element, which I do think they were trying to make the number one priority, but again, it gets lost in the shuffle in a lot of ways throughout the film. If you would just focus on that all the way through, I think you had a great film. So on and so forth. And when we get to the ending, it really is a tale of two halves, because there was something I really wanted and we did it, but I feel like we didn't do it long enough. I feel like it was cut very short. And then on the other side of it, I'm just like, wait, what? Why are we doing this? How is this the ending? When do we get to this location? How is this the final note that we are going to end on? And why did we do that? In a lot of ways. So again, there's a lot to appreciate about this movie. And I'm sorry if I sound like I am going everywhere within this. Like, oh yeah, this was really good. Oh, but this was really bad. Oh, this was really good. Oh, this was really bad. This was just the experience that I had with it. Because again, like, I never wanted to leave. I never felt my clock. But I was like, and a lot of times I was like, what are we doing? Like, while I was watching, like, yeah, we got these pretty visuals, but what do they mean in a lot of ways? And I don't know, maybe I was too much in my head while I was watching it. But again, I just think, as for the first one, I think we probably should have stuck to one theme, is where it comes down to. Because again, that ending note, I will need to watch some ending explain videos from people who are much smarter than me to really understand it. And I think I would actually benefit from watching it again. Like I said, I was entertained enough that I would be willing to go into the movie again. I think there is some fun there where, yeah, you can have fun watching it and you have the subtext in it, and maybe you can understand things that you didn't necessarily understand before. But as I stand here right now, if I had to rank this on the lemon scale, where we go sour lemon at the bottom, expired store-bought lemonade, bad, but hey, there's some good to it. Store-bought lemonade is good, but hey, there's a good chunk of bad in there too. Lemonade, it's a movie. Freshly squeezed lemonade, very good minor problems, and strawberry lemonade at the very top because, that's the best kind of lemonade. I think him is just store-bought and could maybe on a second viewing maybe go up to lemonade, but I really did expect this movie to be freshly squeezed, flirting with strawberry going into it. So again, maybe I just had too high expectations when it came to this film. And I did have a good time. Marlon Wayans is great. Visuals, absolutely stunning. All the cast in this film is a lot of fun. And again, a lot of very fun visuals. It's just when you get past that and you're trying to understand the other things that they are trying to communicate within this movie, you can understand a lot of things that they presented, but did we come to a conclusion on some, if not any of them? I would say no. And that's why I come down to store-bought lemonade. But yeah, overall, I still say give it a shot. Spend full IMAX price for it because this is being presented IMAX screening. I mean, for the visuals alone, they're kind of worth the price of admission, but as for a full-on experience, I say save it for a $5 Tuesday. I think it is worth to see on the big screen, but definitely at a discounted price. But let me know what y'all think about it down in the comment section if you had a chance to go see him. Leave a like on this video if you made it this far. I do greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And don't forget to squeeze the days, guys, because life is too short not to give your all. So squeeze every opportunity that you can. Until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.